After a recent breakup, Momo Ayase encounters a bullied classmate who shares his belief in UAPs with her. They clash over differing beliefs, with Momo favoring ghosts and her classmate favoring aliens, leading to a challenge to prove which is real. Momo goes to an abandoned hospital while her classmate explores a haunted tunnel where he encounters the spirit known as Turbo Granny and becomes possessed. At the same time, Momo is abducted by an alien species called Serpo, who intend to extract her reproductive organs for their own experiments. However, Turbo Granny, possessing her classmate's body, intervenes, halting the aliens' plans. Momo realizes her psychic potential, using her powers to escape and injure the Serpo, while managing to suppress the Turbo Granny within her classmate. As they recover, Momo and her classmate acknowledge that both aliens and ghosts are real. Despite her classmate's initial reluctance to involve her further, Momo insists on staying to help. Together, they decide to confront the Turbo Granny's curse. Momo asks him what his name was and becomes speechless to hear that it is Ken Takakura.
Episode 2 of DanDaDan begins with Okarun insisting his name is Ken Takakura, but Momo insists he should go by Okarun. Their playful bickering escalates when Turbo Granny's curse activates. When they arrive at Momo's home, Okarun is burned by a protective barrier around the Torii gate. Momo removes the talisman, allowing Okarun inside, and apologizes. Inside, they argue about Okarun's missing banana, representing his stolen masculinity. Their conflict is interrupted by an evil spirit linked to Momo's doorbell. They confront a giant sumo-like spirit that demands Okarun's banana. Okarun identifies the enemy as the Flatwoods monster, and they decide to fight together. Though Okarun struggles with control in his cursed form, Momo helps him focus. They try to wrestle the monster, but it gains the upper hand. Momo manages to reapply the talisman, defeating the monster and removing the barriers. The episode ends with Okarun, now cursed, looming ominously over Momo.
In this episode, a psychic named Santa Dodoria gives a celebrity reading, but is corrected repeatedly. Afterward, she takes a taxi home, but decides to walk, fearing for the driver's safety. Meanwhile, Momo is saved from being devoured by the Turbo Granny when her grandmother arrives just in time. She defeats the evil spirit, revealing that she set up barriers to protect herself and Momo. Momo wakes up later, worried about Okarun, and learns from her grandmother that she killed the Turbo Granny. Momo rushes to the shrine to find Okarun safe, but they have a comedic misunderstanding. Momo's grandmother explains that the Turbo Granny has become more powerful by merging with an earthbound spirit, and she trains Momo to help defeat her. Despite her grandmother's warnings, Momo insists on aiding Okarun. During training, Okarun struggles with his curse, leading to chaos as he rushes to the bathroom, which the Turbo Granny attempts to exploit. Momo's grandmother gifts them protective clothing before they head to confront the Turbo Granny in the tunnel, fueling Momo's determination to protect her loved ones. Okarun and Momo face the formidable Turbo Granny in a high-stakes showdown. Initially, Momo's efforts to attack fail when the Turbo Granny blocks their path, forcing her to rely on Okarun's cursed abilities. However, the Turbo Granny manages to regain control over Okarun's curse, rendering him powerless. Desperate, Momo distracts the Turbo Granny by challenging her to a game of tag, allowing her and Okarun a brief escape before things spiral out of control again. Okarun uses his cursed speed to save Momo from an earthbound spirit crab chasing them, while Momo devises a clever trap involving an onsen to slow the crab down. Ultimately, the duo escapes, but only after facing possessed citizens and a formidable fusion of Turbo Granny and the spirit crab. Momo's quick thinking, bolstered by her grandmother's teachings, allows her to trap and defeat the fused spirit. The episode ends with Momo, Okarun, and her grandmother revisiting the tunnel to pay respects, learning about the tragic backstory of the Turbo Granny's connection to the spirits of murdered girls. Momo and Okarun experience a series of miscommunications, beginning with a heart-fluttering yet accidental kiss. This unexpected moment brings both confusion and excitement as each worries about their feelings. Their attempts to reconnect during the school day spiral into a confrontation with Momo's friends, which results in an argument that strains their friendship. Okarun, feeling rejected, encounters an unknown girl who flirts with him only to mock him later, further complicating his feelings. Momo defends him by using her powers on the girl, signaling her loyalty. Okarun reveals to Momo that his balls have mysteriously vanished. They discover that the mischievous yokai Turbo Granny, previously exorcised, has taken refuge inside Okarun, bringing along her powers and the missing body part. The Turbo Granny challenges Okarun, demanding he harm Momo and her grandmother to reclaim his body. When he transforms using Turbo Granny's power, Momo's grandmother intervenes. Momo makes a pact with the Turbo Granny, promising her powers back in exchange for her help in locating Okarun's missing parts, so the yokai admits she has lost them. Late at night, Momo and Okarun search for the missing golden balls, which, according to the Turbo Granny, emit a powerful life force and have likely attracted a spirit or yokai. Unable to find them, they return home, where Seiko offers assistance and warns Okarun to control the Turbo Granny's powers. The next day at school, Okarun, caught between admiration and embarrassment, reacts defensively to a rumor about Momo and accidentally transforms. The Turbo Granny delights in his slip, further taunting him. Meanwhile, Ira, who found a golden ball the night before, plots a mission to save the world, but becomes paranoid about a mysterious woman only she can see. Momo and Okarun learn from the Turbo Granny about the risks the golden balls pose and a potential spirit's threat. Ira confronts Momo, leading to an intense scene where Momo defends herself with psychic powers. Chaos ensues when the yokai acrobatic Silky kidnaps Ira, forcing Momo and Okarun into battle. Acrobatic prowess overwhelms Okarun, swallowing him whole, and threatens Momo until she uses Ira's rosary to ignite the yokai's hair. This forces acrobatic Silky to release them, setting up for a counterattack